take a while. Oh,
Hello,
hello.
YouTube, Internet, iTunes, fellow geeks, and people who have nothing to better do on Sunday. Welcome to episode 16 of the movie Backlot Podcast, A Frozen Divorce, right here on the cinemas with Mr. Robinson because Steve is out. He has more important things to do, so today it's just me and my partner in crime, Dylan. Dylan, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I've spent all day doing math homework that I procrastinated for a month on doing.
What, a month? Huh? You
Well,
have some generous teachers if you're...
it's a big a big math exploration project, and I started it like last night, and I finished it like an hour ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It wasn't hard. It just gave you a lot of time because it takes like 4 hours.
Okay, so, wow. I have said on my Million Ways to Die in the West review that this would be the last time my audience would see this background because next Sunday I'm going to be driving back to LA because I graduate college. But because Steven's not available to do this podcast, you, as in my audience, you get one extra video. And
Yes!
hooray! And to see the rest of the Movie Backlot Podcast, you can go to Geeked Out Nation, geekedoutnation.com, the YouTube page, or iTunes, and you'll find the rest of the episodes right there. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the weekend box office, or as I call it, the Alexander Eat Shit box office.
Yeah, speaking of that, I have 3 quotes from last week that
Go
you
ahead.
said. Quote, it's not going to be number 1. Quote, it's probably going to be like number 5 or something. Quote, it's not going to be a gigantic hit, so don't hold your breath for that.
Well, I was wrong for 2.5 of those reasons. But anyway, what we're talking about is The Fault of Our Stars. Okay, first of all, it cost
$12 million.
$12 million, and it brought in
$48.2.
$0.2 million. That is correct. So this, already in 3 days, has become profitable beyond belief. So
Yeah.
that is the point where I eat shit, but it's not it's not a monster hit compared to the time of the year it is. I mean, it's May.
Well, it's not going to be like X-Men or Spider-Man, but I'm saying gigantic hit for the studio as it costs basically nothing. And they're already getting a return on it first weekend.
Pretty much, and yeah, this really did surprise me, but hey, don't underestimate the female audience.
Yeah, it surprised me. It made 48. I said last week it'd make 35, just because literally 85% of the girls I follow on Twitter that are teenagers were just like, oh, OMG, Fallen Our Stars, can't wait, night before our stars, and it was like sold out. I think Chris Stuckman was gonna he missed his screening. And the 9 o'clock showing. What?
What, is it sold out? In some places?
Yeah, it was sold out in my local theater the night before our stars. It cost like $25 to see it Thursday night, and all the theaters near me sold out.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, you obviously saw it because I've.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. All right, that's actually.
I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5. I enjoyed it. Shailene Woodley was phenomenal in it. Probably the best. I haven't seen the Descendants, but it's probably the best I've seen her. I think she was better in this than The Spectacular Now.
I can't judge between this and Spectacular Now because I didn't see it because finals, with the exception of this study break that I'm considering this a study break, finals are eating me up.
Yeah, same.
Or I'm eating up finals, depending on which way you look at. But she is phenomenal in The Descendants. So phenomenal that she got robbed of a Best Supporting Actress Oscar nomination.
Okay. Yeah, because I'll probably watch it this summer because I've seen Shailene Woodley and everything else she's done, including The Secret Life of the American Teenager, and she carried that show.
Okay, well...
that was her big break.
I guess when I find time, I'll have to see Fault of Our Stars.
It's good. It's although the people on Twitter have been spoiling it like crazy because I saw it early, so I went in knowing not what I didn't know was gonna happen. But like 12 hours before the Thursday night showings, there was a huge tweet about the ending of the movie and this guy walking around spoiling it for people in line.
Wow.
And it was like
that's a guy that needs to be punched in the face. Huh?
yeah, and the guy got 27,000 retweets for it.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, some people just want to watch the world burn.
You know what? I was just thinking of that exact quote.
It made me so mad, and I was like, at least I saw it Tuesday and not Thursday, so I had a genuine reaction to the ending, and it is really good. There's a speech by Shailene Woodley at the end that's very touching. I didn't cry, but the people I brought with me and the people around me were all crying.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Speaking of wanting to watch the world burn, number 2 is Maleficent. Brought in $33.5 million in its second weekend, had a 51% drop.
Yeah, which is pretty good considering every other blockbuster was like mid-60s to 70.
But Maleficent didn't have as high of an opening.
That is true.
And it cost $180 million to make, making its total $127.3 million. So
is that worldwide or just
domestically?
It's gonna make a profit then.
Yeah, all the total gross that I'm listing off is just for the domestic box office only, and yeah, it's probably gonna stick around even with other movies coming in. Did you see this?
I didn't know. I'm gonna see it this weekend after all finals are over. Cause I missed it. I missed the screening because it was in downtown Portland and I couldn't make it that night. And then I didn't really want to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm waiting for Blu-ray because I hated Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
I didn't care for Oz the Great and Powerful, and this just looks like it looks like another one of those. In fact, some people told me that's actually kind of worse.
Really?
So,
I've heard like moderate to good things about it on Twitter.
Huh.
Yeah, people are like, it's good, and then some people say it's complete shit, which doesn't surprise me at all.
Huh.
But I don't know. What I might do is I might just wait because there's like a local theater that gets movies like 3 months after release, and they charge like $2. So I might just wait for that.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. Something that unfortunately won't stick around, and this is kind of sad to report. We got The Edge of Tomorrow, which cost. It's important that I say how much it cost before I say how much it made. $178 million.
It's Tom Cruise's most expensive movie yet.
Is it?
Yeah, it cost more than even Mission Impossible.
Oh wow. Well, unfortunately, it's at number 3, its first weekend. Only brought in $29.1 million. So
it's sad.
Yeah,
it was really good.
I've heard. I like as soon as I heard the word of mouth and as soon as I heard the weekend gross, I thought this is going to be this year's Dread. That one action science fiction movie that everyone says is good, yet nobody bothered to see.
Yeah, I had a lot of passes for this, and people were like, "Nah, I'll skip it," and I'm like, "You can go see it for free." So if like, and my friends are people that go see all the action movies. So even if those people don't want to see it for free, I wasn't too surprised that it didn't make that much money, although it deserves to make it. I'm hoping it could be this year's How to Train Your Dragon in terms of a poor opening but really good word of mouth.
At this time of the year, that's not going to happen because maybe if this was in February, March, maybe during the Oscar season with less competition, it could have done it. But in the following weeks of the summer, we've got How to Train
Transformers.
How to Train Your Dragon, Transformers, Planet of the Apes, Guardians of the Galaxy. There's just going to be way too much competition. So Edge of Tomorrow's going to edge out of the top 5. Wink, wink. Yeah. I mean, luckily Tom Cruise has got. I don't think this is
Mission Impossible 5.
Yeah, he's got Mission Impossible 5, and I don't think this is going to be a giant stain. I mean, it's not like Johnny Depp's latest progression where.
Oh no.
He's
At
just had
least.
these expensive movies, and they just kept flopping. But
Hmm.
Edge of Tomorrow, at least you could say, has had good word of mouth, where Johnny Depp's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, it's my second favorite Tom Cruise movie that I've seen.
Oh, wow.
Edge of Tomorrow. Although I haven't seen the first three Mission Impossibles, I've only seen four, and four is my favorite Tom Cruise film.
I've only seen four, too.
But I liked Edge of Tomorrow way better than Oblivion. Oblivion, I was like, it was okay, and this I walked out like that was really solid. It just has a bad ending, I think.
Oh, really?
Like the ending was like, it's a bit too Hollywoodized in terms, but like if you just discard the last minute and a half, it's just a nonstop roller coaster ride. That's a lot of fun. It's actually really funny.
Okay, well, I'm probably gonna have to check this out as soon as I can. Yeah, people saying that if people say this is better than Oblivion, I can see that because Oblivion's much like Tron, where it's like it looks pretty and it's kind of good, but it's not really deep. So yeah, I'll have to check out Edge of Tomorrow. Let's go to number 4, which is X-Men: Days of Future Past. This week it brought in $14.7 million, cost $200 million to make, and has already made $189 million domestically.
Domestically, and then I think it's has it passed $500 million worldwide?
Yes, worldwide it has.
I think it has. Yeah.
So X-Men: Days of Future Past is very profitable, and it should be for being.
It was really good.
Yeah, the single best X-Men movie, and the one X-Men movie to retcon all the shit that came out.
Yeah. I still prefer First Class to it, but it's my second favorite X-Men film.
Yeah, I had a conversation with some friends where the only reason I like Days of Future Past a little better than First Class is probably because Wolverine is in it, which I know he's overused, but this was like the first X-Men movie that like had a lot of the characters that I was familiar with, but didn't really put all the focus on Wolverine. It was like the perfect X-Men movie.
Yeah, Wolverine was there because he's the most profitable X-Men for them, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the Wolverine show. It was, hey, the Wolverine's more of a side-ish character, with the main conflict being between Magneto, Raven, and Professor X.
Yeah, just basically, Wolverine's in it, and he's really good at what he does. He's the best he is at what he does, but it's all mainly on the First Class cast. So, really good movie. Really looking forward to X-Men Apocalypse. Before we go to number 5, I want to briefly mention that according to Box Office Mojo, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is nowhere to be found. So it's
playing in my local theaters still.
Is it? Because according to Box Office Mojo, Amazing Spider-Man 2...
I think it is.
The page I have shows 36 movies. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is nowhere to be found, but Captain America the Winter Soldier is still in there. Which that kind of makes me happy.
No, it's still playing at all my local theaters. It only has 2 showings.
Oh, is it? Huh.
I think that's just they may have missed it or something. Because it must have made more money than Captain America this week. Because Captain America's only playing like 2 theaters near me.
Well, maybe Box Office Mojo fucked up, but no, I don't see it anywhere. But anyway, let's go to speaking of movies we don't like, or like I didn't like The Amazing Spider-Man, but we didn't like. Number 5 is Seth MacFarlane's interpretation of the West with dick and shit jokes, A Million Ways to Die in the West. This weekend it brought in $7 million. Cost. It doesn't say what the.
It cost 40, didn't it?
Yeah, Box Office Mojo doesn't list its budget, but I know it cost $40 million, and its total is $30 million. So it could make it, but at number 5, it might do well enough to break even, but
yeah,
I
but
don't know.
This is a win for me because it's not gonna be a mega hit like Ted. And I haven't seen Ted, but it does sadden me that Seth MacFarlane, this won't impact his career like at all, just because Ted 2 is already greenlit, and that'll be a huge hit.
Right. Well, I mean, Seth MacFarlane, it's like he's really that guy. It's like you either like his humor or you don't. So,
I don't.
Million Ways to Die in the West, this was one instance where, like, I'm just kind of meh when it comes to Seth MacFarlane in general, and this movie just didn't really do it for me, especially since seeing Blazing Saddles, which is a million times better. I mean, to quote Richard Roper, nothing is Blazing Saddles. But,
Sure.
yeah, without further ado, that's the top 5. Really briefly, I just wanted to list off that Chef is at number 9, brought in $2 million. Doesn't list a budget, but given its indie status, it probably didn't cost much, and it has a total of $10 million domestically. So, I mean, I'm sure the movie's doing fine. I really liked it. It's just a good sign to see that movie doing well.
Yeah, I'm gonna see Chef this weekend because it's still playing at my local theater. So, and I haven't been able to see it the last few weeks. I'm gonna see it this weekend.
That movie will make you want to eat a lot, and not just like popcorn and shit. It will want to make you eat really good food afterwards.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on to the news. Yeah.
What about the new releases?
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. New releases. We've got How to Train Your Dragon 2, which apparently has been getting really good word of mouth. I mean, you've seen it.
Good.
You've seen it a million times, apparently.
Yeah, I saw it for my 3rd time yesterday.
Jesus Christ.
It's so good.
And then we've got 22 Jump Street, which apparently I've heard is better than the first one. I mean, we still have to wait to Friday. I didn't see it, the first one myself, but...
Oh, you should. The first one is really good.
Yeah, but I mean, I might see this one with a friend if I can. One of my friends up in college before I take off.
Yeah. I know the local Regal theaters, or actually the local theaters in my area are hosting a 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street double feature Thursday night for like $15.
Well, it's a damn shame that my last final is Thursday night, so can't do that.
That sucks.
But I'll find a way.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. As long as I have my finals under control, I'm going to see it Tuesday night.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm really excited because I've loved everything I've seen of Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah, and these are the same guys that did the Lego Movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I might get around. I'm definitely gonna get around to How to Train Your Dragon 2 when I get back to LA. So
yeah.
I even mentioned that in my Million Ways to Die in the West review. But anyway, let's move on. Do it again. Let's move on to the news. I don't know who that was supposed to be, but yeah, let's start out with an ongoing story that still is ongoing. Nothing really good. I mean, this year has been a shitty year for celebrity deaths. And while this is not a celebrity death, Tracy Morgan has been in a car crash, a 6-car car crash, and is in critical condition. Not really the best thing to report on, but it's probably something that we should at least talk about in a way. Have you heard of this at all?
No, this is the first time I've seen it.
Okay, well, I sent you a link through the group chat.
Yeah, I got it.
And apparently there's been updates saying that he's hanging in there, but one of his comedy writers, James McNair, they were both in a limo bus, and his comedy writer unfortunately has been killed. And this sucks.
It does.
These kind of stories are never good to come across. But from what I'm hearing, this story is there's no word on his condition, but apparently he's still. Hopefully he's hanging in there because we wish him the best of luck, and hopefully he gets out of there. Tracy Morgan, of course, is known from 30 Rock.
Cop Out.
See, I wanted to try to name stuff that wasn't shit, but
Well, I'm just on his IMDb page, and that was the second thing that pops up for known for.
oh wow. Yeah. We'll just move on to the next thing, but we're hoping that everything turns out for the best for this guy.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something that a story that has finally reached a conclusion. We finally have a new director for Ant-Man, and it is Peyton Reed. Okay. Peyton Reed has been hired by Marvel to take over Edgar Wright's Ant-Man, and Peyton Reed has made movies like Bring It On, Bring It On, Down with Love, The Breakup, and his last movie was Jim Carrey's Yes Man from 2008. So, and then Adam McKay, who turned down directing duty for Ant-Man, is apparently on as helping out with the script that caused Edgar Wright to leave in the first place. So, I don't know. I'm glad they finally found a director, but go ahead.
I'm still excited for Ant-Man, but I'm not very excited that much anymore because his track. I mean, the highest. I looked at Peyton Reed's Rotten Tomatoes, and his highest tomato score is Bring It On, which is that cheerleading movie.
The only movie of his that I saw was Yes Man, which I liked, but it's nothing special beyond it's a Jim Carrey movie. It's either your thing or it's not.
Although I found it kind of funny that they got the guy that directed Yes Man to come in and take over the project after Edgar Wright basically said no and just left. Or at least as the rumors are saying that Edgar Wright left because he was really unhappy with the script. Yeah. And the guys coming in will just be like, yes, okay. Yes.
So you could say Reed was a yes man.
Yeah. That's a much better way of putting that joke.
But yeah, I've been famous for saying that Marvel's decisions when they get directors apparently have not been bad at all. I feel like after the Russo brothers made Winter Soldier, I just feel like I'm going to shut up about Marvel's directing decisions because they apparently know what they're doing. But this one in particular, while I really have no opinion on it because I will go with Marvel and what they do unless the movie ends up being bad. But at the same time, he's replacing Edgar Wright, the man who gave us Shaun the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, and Scott Pilgrim. The World, exactly. So Edgar Wright is like the king of comedy, whereas Peyton Reed is not so much. I mean, it's really like a big burden to come in and replace Edgar Wright, especially if it's on a project that he's been working on for like 6 years, or even more.
I thought it was like 8 years he had been working on it.
Well, he's been working on it since 2000. So yeah, 8 years, 2006, before the first Iron Man came out. So,
hopefully he does good and the movie is good, but I'm not very hopeful at this point.
I mean, like I've heard of a lot. Usually, for me, it's like I don't mind what happens during production or all the troubles that go on. All that matters is like what comes out in the final product. So it all depends on what the final product is, but I can't say I'm super enthusiastic for Ant-Man anymore.
Isn't this like slated to come out next year too, in like 13 months?
It's supposed to come out July 2015, so right after Age of Ultron. So. And
they have to rewrite the script. Well, that's gonna. Hopefully they can do it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, best of luck to them, but kind of wish that Edgar Wright was still on.
Yeah.
Moving on to some Marvel news that's a little more upbeat, hopefully. We kind of have an idea of another movie that's getting into development, which is Doctor Strange. Just this week, they've gotten a director, Scott Derrickson, the man who directed the remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still and the small horror film from 2012, Sinister.
I haven't seen either of them.
Neither have I, but so I have aside from what I just said of I'll just take Marvel's word on their director hires, I have no real opinion on this. Although the only reason I know this guy is because he co-wrote Sinister along with a man who I consider to be one of my icons for trying to become a critic, Robert Cargill, who a lot of people might know through the name Carlisle through the late Spill.com. So, like, a lot of fans of that site are wondering, oh, is Cargill going to come in and help Scott write the script for Doctor Strange? But that's just me ranting on. So you have nothing else to say about this news?
No, I will trust Marvel and hope that the movie's good.
Yeah. Also, another thing, keep that shit. Don't lose the director.
Yeah, just watch right before Ant-Man comes out, just Scott Derrickson just leaves the project. That'd be probably the worst timing possible for Marvel.
True. Well, sticking to the Doctor Strange news, not only has Marvel found their director, they also have a few guys in mind to star as the famous sorcerer. We've got, in terms of, this report comes from Deadline, and apparently Marvel has a list of they have two actors in mind to play Doctor Strange. Tom Hardy from Inception, Warrior, and The Dark Knight Rises, and then Benedict Cumberbatch from Sherlock, Star Trek Into Darkness, and the Hobbit series.
I also heard that Jared Leto was like one of their top choices.
Yeah, I actually did hear that too, which, Jared Leto, I still have not seen Dallas Buyers Club, but...
it's fantastic.
I bet, but given the fact that he's won an Oscar, it's like... And given Marvel's casting decisions beforehand, it's like, there's no doubt that this guy could probably do a good job, but if you want my honest opinion, I think Benedict Cumberbatch would be suited for the role, in my opinion, because...
Yeah, he could.
Well, actually, I don't think, for Tom Hardy and Cumberbatch, I don't think we've ever seen any of them with facial hair, have we? Or at least in movies?
Did Tom Hardy have facial hair in Inception?
No, he did not.
I know that he has it in Mad Max, doesn't he?
I never saw Mad Max.
Well, it's not out yet. It comes out next year. But they released set photos.
I haven't. That's a movie I haven't been paying attention to. But
okay. I guess it was supposed to come out like 2 years ago.
Okay. I guess Benedict Cumberbatch is my choice because, the photo I have the photo that they have of Doctor Strange on the article is taken from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And if you take some of that facial hair from Doctor Strange and put it on Cumberbatch, he could kind of look like him in a way. Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor to begin with, so there's no...
Well, in most people's opinions.
Yeah, there's just some poor people out there that just don't realize how great of an actor Benedict Cumberbatch is.
Yep. Very
talented. But again, I'll wait what Marvel says about the casting decisions. They haven't announced a release date for Doctor Strange yet, so anything could happen from now and then.
Yeah. Isn't it rumored to come out like 2016, though?
Well, I know that. Well, we all know that May
is Captain America 3.
Yeah, which is going head to head with Superman versus Batman. Which one of those is going to have to move, huh? Because they're just going to eat each other, and it's not going to end well for anyone. So.
I'm kind of just hoping that neither of them move, and I just have an awesome double feature.
I don't, because they're both going to steal business from each other, and it's going to be a no-win situation for either studio. Well, I guess more DC because their cinematic universe is still unproven. Mm-hmm. But it's best that one of them just finds another release date. But I do know that Marvel has another 2016 release date, I think in July. So I mean, given that Doctor Strange is the one we've heard the most about, it could take that slot, but again, we'll just wait and see what happens.
Yeah. My bet would be if they have the director now and they're probably they're gonna probably start developing the script, will probably come out July 2016.
I think we'll hear some more about this Doctor Strange stuff and possibly the rest of Phase 3 at Comic-Con when they're supposed to show stuff for Age of Ultron. So chances are we're going to hear about some news.
Yeah, stuff. Well, and there's also the D23 Expo.
Right on. Well, moving on from Marvel into the galaxy far, far away.
Still Disney.
Yeah, but Josh Trank, who directed Chronicle and is now helming the Fantastic Four reboot for Fox, has been chosen to direct another Star Wars spin-off for Disney and Lucasfilm. Excuse me, very unprofessional. He is the second guy to take on a Star Wars spin-off right after Gareth Edwards, who directed Godzilla. Disney and Lucasfilm still have not said what the projects are. Yeah, I haven't said what they are going to be, but I've heard rumors that it's going to be Han Solo and Boba Fett. I mean, from what I've heard further on, I heard that Gareth Edwards might be taking on Boba Fett while Josh Trank would be taking on Han Solo. Where I think, if you want my opinion, I think Josh Trank. I haven't seen Chronicle, but based on the kids in that movie having something the equivalent of Force powers, Josh Trank should take on something that involves Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in favor of a Han Solo film.
At all. Yeah.
At all, but I mean, I'll see it. It's a Star Wars movie. It's gonna be released in theaters. We're all gonna see it.
Oh, no doubt. But yeah, I'm not too on board with the Han Solo spinoff because, I mean, Boba Fett. You couldn't make a Boba Fett movie without having to go into depth about his past or something. Han Solo's. I'd rather not because we've spent a lot of time with Han Solo and we're gonna spend more time with Han Solo next year. But a solo movie for Solo. Damn it! I just fell into that trap. Not really in my favor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be good. The thing that stuck out to me is the Fantastic Four sequel is already slated for 2017 already. And because Fox announced a couple months ago, which means if Josh Trank's gonna direct this, that means he probably won't be coming back for the Fantastic Four sequel. Which will cause Fox to have to get a new director.
Well, that ultimately depends if this new one succeeds, because Fox fucked up twice, and if this new one is as bad or worse than the last two, which
it's not going to be as bad.
That's good. I don't think it's going to be as bad because that's going to be a fucking accomplishment. But I mean, if it ends up being bad and not making money, Fantastic Four is just going to go back to Marvel.
Yeah, but I mean,
we'll see what happens. They also
made a sequel to the first Fantastic Four, and it was pretty terrible.
Yeah, but I don't know. Both stories will let it play out. But I have a question concerning Han Solo. Did you hear Did you hear these rumors about Robert Pattinson taking over the fedora in a Indiana Jones reboot?
Yeah, I heard the rumors. I don't believe them at all, but Disney won't do that.
Yeah, they were debunked.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear, what is your opinion on that, if they were more than rumors?
Well, if they were more than rumors, I'll give it a shot. I mean, Disney knows what they're doing. They haven't been putting out crap unless it's like a fairy tale movie the past few years.
Have you seen any of the Twilight movies?
No, I haven't. But I'm talking in terms of his indie stuff he's been doing. I've heard he's actually been doing good in them.
See,
I haven't seen any of his work.
See, my idea is because I've seen all but the last Twilight movie.
I've heard that's the best one though.
Yeah,
It's the last one.
the others were just too bad. I just didn't bother. But like, I can't see Robert Pattinson as Indiana Jones because one of the subjects in my paper is racism in Temple of Doom in my final college paper,
Hmm.
and I just like watching Temple of Doom over and over again. I realized that Robert Pattinson could never be Indiana Jones because he's not really that rugged. I mean, when you look at Harrison Ford, he's rugged looking. He actually has charisma. Where Robert Pattinson, he looks really pasty and kind of, I'm sorry, not that good looking.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. Not. I can't really comment on how good looking it is beyond the craze of Twilight fangirls that loved him.
Right. Well, I mean, even that, if you just put him next to Harrison Ford from Raiders of the Lost Ark, there's no competition. Like,
Well, yeah,
he's
Harrison
like the
Ford.
last guy you would get for Indy.
Yeah, what I think happened here was someone just wanted to bait some clicks and get some ad revenue. So they came up with the most what WTF store headline they could think of, and they
Yeah.
rolled with it.
Someone just had a slow news day. Probably Latino Report. I don't know, but let's move on to another bit of Star Wars news. Something relating to the movie that's in production, Star Wars Episode VII. We got two new cast members. We have. You're gonna have to help me say her name. Kind of,
Here I
Luca,
got it. Her, so the J.J. Abrams cast Lupita Nyong'o and Gwendolyn Christie
right?
in
And
Star Wars 7.
Lupito, you say her name.
Okay.
I'm apparently incapable of saying this girl's name.
Well, Nyong'o is most well known as
Yeah,
the
she
girl
was in
from 12
12
Years
Years
a
a
Slave,
Slave, and
and she
then
was also in Nonstop.
I never saw
Can't
Nonstop, but
can't forget that masterpiece. I didn't see it. But
yeah,
Gwendolyn Christie is most well known as playing Brienne Tarth in Game of Thrones.
yeah. This story comes from the official Star Wars site. Both actresses are apparently going to be in Star Wars Episode VII, and
I think it's great because they're both really good.
yeah, I gotta say, looking at Gwendolyn Christie, when she's not Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones, she's actually not that bad looking. She's actually,
She's not,
I don't know, she's pretty attractive in my opinion.
but she's also huge. I mean, in terms of
And
like
and
height.
that's bad. Why?
Well, it's just gonna be kind of awkward having. I mean, it's gonna be fine because she'll probably be a badass Jedi, but it's gonna be kind of a little bit distracting seeing these people who are like 6 foot and we're used to seeing them, and she comes in, she's like, oh hi.
Well, I'm sure she's not going to be
How tall is
as
she?
masculine looking as she is in Game of Thrones, but yeah, you put her in Star Wars, you have no choice but to make her a Jedi, which
Yeah,
that would be kind of cool.
she's
Uh,
6'3".
she's Jesus Christ, that's
She's a full foot taller than Amelia Clark.
shit. Fuck that. She's half a foot taller than me. Um, but oh.
She's also
Taller
taller
than-
than Mark Hamill by like half a foot.
Oh well, that I would love to see in the new movie size comparison between her and Carrie Fisher because Carrie Fisher
It's 5'1".
she is not tiny per se, but she's definitely short.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Gwendolyn Christie's taller than Harrison Ford.
really.
Yeah, by 2 inches, according to this.
Well, I mean, it's probably lucky for her she will not be the tallest character in that movie.
Oh well, that's because Peter Mayhew's coming back.
Yeah, because we got Chewbacca. Nobody
That's about it.
Nobody dwarfs Chewie.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I mean, I'm sure that George Lucas wanted to, but
Well, luckily he's not on for any kind of thing. Yeah, speaking of Star Wars, staying in the Episode 7 circle, there were a bunch of set photos that got leaked out showing basically the Abu Dhabi set, which is Tatooine, they show some weird creature that I don't think has ever been shown in any of the other films, but it is practical.
I didn't look at them, so I don't know. I'm trying to avoid everything from this point beyond like casting announcements.
Well, that's the only big thing I'll say. The other thing that happened is J.J. Abrams left a note. He tweeted a picture, left a note saying, "I wish people would stop leaking photos from Episode 7 and stop making ridiculous claims that the Millennium Falcon is in the movie." JJ, and if you look at where the photo is, where the note is taken, it's clearly on the chessboard, or that holographic chessboard that was used in the first Star Wars movie. That was in the first Millennium Falcon. Like it's another of its kind. The Millennium Falcon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, basically the big thing here is it confirms the Millennium Falcon's in Star Wars 7, which I think... What was anyone really doubting it with Chewbacca and Han Solo coming back?
I don't think people were, but I even heard this news story like last year. So the fact that the Falcon is back is not that big of a surprise. But yeah, we won't get too much into these set photos because we want to stay surprised, as JJ's probably intending it. So we'll move on.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna attempt to not watch any trailers for it, but
that's gonna be impossible.
It's gonna be nearly impossible. I'm gonna have to buy like noise canceling headphones and a blindfold for every time I go see a movie.
You're gonna look like the biggest idiot doing that. But yeah, with these kind of big movies, when a trailer comes out, you want to be surprised. You're gonna end up seeing a trailer accidentally. I remember seeing the very first How to Train Your Dragon trailer for the sequel. And it's like,
spoiled.
I don't need to see anything else, but I saw another How to Train Your Dragon trailer in front of Godzilla.
Same.
Well, there goes my good streak of not seeing any more trailers, but I didn't think it really spoiled anything.
I mean, it shows...
Don't say anything!
It doesn't show anything from the third act.
Oh, okay. I guess the marketing people either got fired or they learned their lesson.
Although, they did spoil a twist somewhat early in the film that I didn't like them spoiling.
I don't know what that is, so
that's good.
That's probably to my advantage. But moving on to a bit of news that I don't know. Like, I personally am not. I could honestly care less about, but the Wachowskis' Jupiter Ascending, which was supposed to be released July 18th of this year, has been delayed to February 2015, which, like, usually when I hear about these movies getting delayed, it's not a good sign.
Yeah. I mean, I saw this and I just laughed, and then I was like, wait a second. I was looking forward to this just because I like Channing Tatum, and I just want to see some nice visual effects, and then they delayed it, and I'm like, well, was it at least delayed to like March or like a good month? No, it was delayed till February.
Well, you better be happy they didn't delay it till March. So you'd have to wait a month longer.
Well, yeah, but I guess I'll still go in hoping it's good, like I do every year for February movies. And we did get a good movie this year from February. Lego movie.
Yeah. In the month of shit, we did get the Lego movie.
So maybe this could be a 3 out of 5 movie, and I'll be satisfied.
Well, this is not the same team, so.
Yeah, I know.
And given the Wachowskis' string of successes, it might this move might have been a good idea, because their last movie, Cloud Atlas, I didn't see it, but I've heard from a lot of people that it's boring as shit.
Yeah.
It didn't make money, so maybe moving this from blockbuster heavy July to dead, film dead February is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, what I don't understand though is, so Cloud Atlas didn't make money, yet Warner Brothers still wrote them like $180 million check, or however much it cost to make Jupiter Ascending, plus however much it'll cost for the delays.
Yeah. I guess the only thing I can say to that is these are the same two people that made them the Matrix movies, and
They did.
while the other two are garbage, that first one is really really good. So even
Mhm.
with all the flops, I mean, I
Well,
think it's the same. I think it's the same reason why Warner Brothers kept Zack Snyder around. I mean, they loved working with him, and despite Sucker Punch being just a colossal piece of shit, they kept him around for Man of Steel.
but that
And
was just one failure. Well,
well,
the Wachowskis have haven't they had more than one failure? Yeah, they've had because Matrix sequels were bad, and then I've heard Cloud Atlas was meh.
they also had Speed Racer, which was
I
it wasn't a hit also. So yeah, it does beg the
yeah
question why. I mean, for Zack Snyder, his Owl movie, Legend of the Guardians, that wasn't a
yeah
big financial success either.
yeah. But I mean, I saw it. And I thought it was pretty good.
I liked it too, but I mean, Zack Snyder's movies were not like
They
humongous
weren't big
successes.
hits. Like what haven't the only movies that have been hits of his just 300 and Man of Steel
Yeah,
didn't Watchmen not even make its budget back?
I don't think it did, and I certainly didn't like Watchmen.
Oh, you didn't? I liked it. But
No, I
you
mean, I've
also
only
haven't
seen
liked
it.
most Zack Snyder films, or I have.
I mean, I've only seen Watchmen once, so maybe I could give it another shot and see what happens then. But yeah, Cloud Atlas, Jupiter Ascending. I don't really know what to think of this movie. I haven't seen any of the trailers, so
Oh, you haven't?
yeah, well,
It's eh.
it's
About
a
it.
okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe this move is probably the best thing for the studio to do.
Yeah, it
But moving,
probably is,
what?
considering it was slated to come out in between Transformers 4 and Dawn the Planet of the Apes.
Hmm.
And so Transformers would have stolen all its box office because it was tracking for like a $25 million opening weekend.
Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, maybe it was a smart move on the studio.
Uh-huh.
You can
Cut
forget
their
all the stuff.
losses.
You can forget all the stuff they said about. Oh, we need more time for the visual effects. It's like no, the studio knows it's not going to make money if you release it this time.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Especially after Edge of Tomorrow didn't make very much money.
yeah, and that's the same studio. But moving on
Oh, it is.
to going back into the Marvel realm, this probably would have been a little more appropriate if we kept this in our Marvel section.
Well, I was trying to do it by studio, and then I didn't realize.
Okay,
It.
that's also my fault because I added some stories. But anyway,
It's cool.
there's I don't know if this is much to talk about. I mean, we definitely could. It's not much of a story, but it's definitely something that could get into conversation. Uh, Screen Rant asked the question: did X-Men Apocalypse change Fox's X-Force movie plans? Because we've heard about an X-Force movie being in development, I think last year, and
Yeah,
then
and
after
Jeff Wadlow was attached to direct.
now who is he again?
He did Kick-Ass 2,
Oh,
and I think he's working on the He-Man movie
oh,
and the like Gem and the Holograms movie.
I have no idea what that is, but
Oh,
yeah.
it was the '80s thing with the Hannah Montana like
Oh,
singing people.
oh, Jesus Christ, that doesn't sound good at all. Oh,
I'm excited.
maybe it's a
Just
good
'cause I
idea
love High
that.
School Musical.
Yeah. Well, maybe I don't know. Like, maybe I think the only reason this could be a thing, the reason X-Men Apocalypse overshadowed X-Force, is probably because of how much Days of Future Past made and how well it's doing. That
Hmm.
people want to see the continuation rather than another spin-off, which I don't know. In X-Force, it's a shame that Steve isn't here because he's the comic guy. I don't know. I really don't know that much about X-Force other than
I mean, I haven't looked up very much of it, but apparently, it was supposed to have Deadpool in it,
yeah. All I know is
and
Deadpool is one of the
Cable, I
members.
think, but Cable's gonna probably be in the in Apocalypse because I think you need Cable in the Apocalypse storyline from what I've heard.
Really? I thought I heard somewhere that Cable was with Marvel.
No, he's in
I'm pretty
no,
sure.
he's with Fox.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
I've heard.
the guy tweeted out, I have no idea if Cable will appear in future X-Men films. Hard to believe he won't appear in Apocalypse, but I don't expect it.
That doesn't confirm anything.
It doesn't, but I
Well, I
mean,
mean, I'll have to
I
look
think
this
it would
up.
confirm that Cable's with Fox then.
I don't know. I've heard somewhere that he's with Marvel, but that's beside the point. Yeah, the most I know about X Force is that Deadpool's in it. And from this picture on Screen Rant, the only other members I recognize are Wolverine and Domino. So, um, yeah, I mean, Fox has still got to make up for that for what they did to Deadpool in X-Men Origins
Hmm.
Wolverine. I mean, I may have forgiven the movie as a whole because of Days of Future Past, but they still need to redeem Deadpool and not get Ryan Reynolds. They got to get someone else,
But
or just
Ri-
not do a Deadpool movie.
but I actually think Ryan Reynolds could be a good Deadpool. It's just they literally say that he sewed his mouth shut.
See, I don't think he can. I mean, because like people have said, oh, he looks like a guy who'd be fit for Green Lantern, and we know what that turned out. And everything
I
I've
think he was a
seen,
terrible Hal Jordan. I thought the movie was pretty bad, but I thought him himself did as good of a job he could have with the material he was given.
well, even then, like I watch Ryan Reynolds comedies, and his movie, like all he does, he's very he kind of whispers a lot of the time. He's not as
Hmm.
wacky and just balls to the wall, batshit insane as I imagine Deadpool to be. I mean, Nolan North
Yeah.
is the guy who's like well known for voicing Deadpool, and it's gonna be fucking hard to top what he's done with the Deadpool voice and how Deadpool's been portrayed in other stuff, which is something that I don't think Ryan Reynolds can do. I mean, plus after doing 4 comic book movies, I think it's easy to say that Ryan Reynolds is just superhero movie poison. So there's no way
Yeah.
they would take another chance.
Yeah. It's
But
just too bad for him because I think he did a terrible job. It's just he got put in all shit movies.
yeah, I mean, the guy has charisma and he does a lot of indie stuff also. And
Can he
people
do
love
Buried?
him. Yeah, he did Buried, and people seem to love the guy. It's just he can't catch a break.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
hopefully we get good X-Men universe movies from Fox,
yeah.
which
I
we
mean,
which
I
we
mean,
have been lately. So
yeah. I
that's
mean,
good.
in a world where Fox is actually making good X-Men movies and Sony's fucking up, or Sony just doesn't care about Spider-Man. That's a strange world. Anyway, we've got 2 more news stories left. This one comes from the Hollywood Reporter. It's just normal business as usual stuff. Not much to talk about, but Legendary and Universal signed a 15-picture deal to release their films in IMAX. At least 15 of their films. Some of which will be Dracula Untold, The Seventh Son, Fast and the Furious 7, and Jurassic World. So, yeah, not
Hmm.
not much to say there, except people just want to claw at that IMAX money.
I mean, and then they also, an article I read also said Crimson
Crimson
Peak
Peak.
and Warcraft will also be in IMAX. Which, I mean, I'll see Jurassic World in IMAX because I love Jurassic Park in IMAX.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I'll see the other ones in there in it.
this doesn't do much for me in the least because it's just more like, yeah, you guys signed a deal with IMAX to release this certain film in IMAX. When are people going to start using IMAX cameras or those new IMAX 3D digital cameras? When are like take
Yeah.
more advantage of the IMAX technology and don't
Mhm.
just release films in IMAX. I mean, if you look at stuff like the last 2 Dark Knight movies Catching Fire and Mission Impossible 4, they all took advantage of IMAX by using the cameras, and those are the best movies to see IMAX in. Not so much like Fast and Furious 7, I don't think is a movie that is worth the IMAX treatment.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think Jurassic World maybe if they go for the same awe and wonder feel of the first film.
Hopefully, because I mean, as much as I like the last two Jurassic Park movies, those definitely do not have the awe-inspiring images that the first movie did, or those moments that made you go, "Whoa!" So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless a news story breaks out to where they were filming with IMAX 3D cameras in secret, then that'll get my attention.
Mhm.
But
Do we know if the Avatar sequels are being filmed with IMAX cameras yet?
not to my knowledge, but I mean, nothing's really come up with Avatar. But I
Besides
saw
just that they're working on 3 scripts.
But because Avatar was shot digitally, they were allowed to fix the aspect ratio to appear as if it filled up the entire IMAX screen. So whether they shot it with IMAX or not doesn't really matter because they can modify the aspect ratio digitally.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because I know that in regular theaters, like 2D showings were shown at one aspect ratio, 3D were shown at the aspect ratio you find on the Blu-rays and stuff. So that's, I mean, as much as I would prefer film be shot in film, the wonders you could do with digital stuff really can help at times if you use it wisely.
Yeah.
But, okay, we got the last story here, which is actually the inspiration for the episode title. We talked about this earlier. There's something wrong with you when you ask a human being, I want a divorce because you don't like this movie I love. This comes from metro.co.uk. Let me send you the link, and we can get right onto it. Okay, this had me laughing and frustrated at the same time. Of all the reasons you might want to end your marriage, not liking Frozen wouldn't generally rank that high. But in the case of one Japanese woman, though, her difference of opinion with her husband over the Disney smash is turning out to be grounds of divorce. According to the website Kikonchia no... Well, the English title is The Gravesite of Married People. That's funny, actually. The anonymous 29-year-old became obsessed with the film after going to see it on her own several times before persuading her spouse to join. But despite hoping he would also love the film due to having studied Danish literature at the university, with Frozen being based on the Hans Christian Andersen tale, The Snow Queen, she was shocked to discover his reaction was very different. After telling her, I didn't really care for it personally, he apparently left their 6-year marriage in tatters by asking his wife, "Did you really think it was that good?" She furiously responded, "If you can't understand what makes this movie great, there's something wrong with you as a human being," before telling him she wanted a divorce. The woman is now reported to have moved out of their marital home and is staying with her parents while she contemplates her future. Perhaps we would venture to suggest she should just let it go.
She has a cold heart.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny when you first hear this kind of story because it's like, really, you're divorcing your husband over a movie?
I don't and this is so stupid.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it's like it frustrates you because, okay, I'm gonna lay a bombshell that I probably mentioned on this show and my channel. I have a very unpopular opinion about Blackfish.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, really unpopular to where some people call me stupid. But you know what? It's just a movie, and even though it is a documentary, I'm not gonna let something like that ruin a friendship. I'm not gonna let a fucking movie ruin any relationship I have, whether it's with a friend of mine, whether it's with a significant other. It's not worth ending a friendship or any kind of relationship over a fucking movie, because in the end, it's just a movie. I mean, I know we run a movie-related podcast, but for fuck's sake, huh? You have anything?
She's just... Their marriage must have been really fragile to begin with if this was the tipping point.
True. You're probably right on that, because I shared this story with some other people, and they've even told me they must have had some sort of falling out, and this was just this woman just found a way. She found her way towards divorce, like an excuse to say, "Oh, you don't like this? Well, I'm divorcing your ass." But I mean, at the same time, you got to admit that Frozen is one of the most fucking overrated movies ever out there. I mean,
Yeah.
hell,
I still, like, we both loved it when we saw it, and I still love it, but the plot's pretty bad.
Well, I mean, it's a Disney fairy tale, so it's not. There's so much you. I don't know, but I'm looking at Watch Mojo. God damn it, Box Office Mojo. And, well, going back to where I said The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is nowhere to be found, Frozen is still here. Huh? Like, Frozen is still
people
in there.
Are still seeing Frozen.
Yeah, I can even point out how much it made this weekend. It made $25,000. Huh? And domestically, it's made $400 million. So, I mean, I still like this movie.
It's the fifth highest grossing movie of all time.
I still like the movie, but to be in the $1 million mark, it does not deserve. It does not deserve that honor. It is not that good. It's good.
I'm not gonna say it doesn't deserve it because it got it. I mean, I don't think it should be in there, but
Well,
it got there. We can't really say, oh man. I'm not sure if you know where I'm going with this. It's more just a lot of people really love it. So it succeeded on that level, but I don't think it's a quality of enough film that it should have gotten that much money.
Well, I mean, at the very least, it's not an Alice in Wonderland or a Transformers Dark of the Moon, where those movies
are both in the $1 billion club.
Those are both in the $1 billion club and are garbage. They are both pieces of fucking shit. But
speaking of Alice in Wonderland, a couple of my friends, they all hate the movie, but they didn't know how much money it made. So I had them ask. So I asked them. I was like, so how much money worldwide do you think Alice in Wonderland made? And I said that if they got within $50 million, that they get it right. One guy was like, I don't know, like 350, and one guy's like maybe 220. I was like, $1 billion, and all of them yelled $1 billion and started flipping shit, and I was like, gotta love the general public, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the general public, they can either be smart,
like in Captain America 2,
or fucking stupid, like with
Grown-ups
what we're probably gonna see with. Wait, what did you say?
Grown-ups 2.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say what we're probably gonna see with Transformers 4, but
but
it's not gonna be good.
I'm excited.
You gotta let it go, man. It's not gonna be good.
No, the only red flag I've seen so far is that the girl from The Last Airbender was cast.
Really? You mean the fact that they didn't bring Michael Bay back wasn't a red flag enough?
Well, unlike
that should be a fucking stop sign. Huh?
What?
That should be a fucking stop. Having Michael Bay back should be a fucking stop sign. Huh?
He does know how to direct large-scale action to some degree.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to He doesn't know how to tell a story. He doesn't know how to make characters not annoying, and he doesn't know how to be racially sensitive. Or maybe he knows how to be.
Wasn't that racially insensitive in 3?
No, it wasn't, but it was annoying as fuck. Huh?
It was. Like, I rewatched it, I was like, I mean, I still enjoy it, kind of, but for all the human scenes, I was like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, how did I
Yeah.
like it? I still like the last 40 minutes. Because it's just
Yeah,
robots and
I'll admit.
explosions, but...
Yeah, I'll admit the last 40 minutes is entertaining, except they fucking betray Optimus Prime's character at the end with when just killing Megatron and Sentinel in cold blood. That's not something he would do.
Uh-oh.
Like Optimus is he's too noble, he's too compassionate to kill his enemies in cold blood.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to Transformers when it comes out. 'Cause it's
2
close.
more weeks, I think. Is
Uh,
it? It's 2 or 3.
3.
3.
The longer the better. But we'll get to that when it comes out. That does it for the news. But before we take off, we are continuing this new section that I've created that I specifically am in charge of, where I talk about the latest Blu-ray releases. Again, this is not everything that's coming out, but it is some of the important titles that you Blu-ray junkies should be looking after, or just anything worth mentioning. First up, we have season 1 of the HBO, I guess it's a miniseries or series, True Detective.
It's a series now. It's just going to be like each season's a mini-series.
Yeah, I guess like it's a series in the sense that it's gonna have many seasons, but it's a mini series in the sense that the cast is gonna be all different. Because
You may have forgot, but the RoboCop reboot came out 2 days ago.
no, I talked about that.
You talked about it last week? Okay.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
but anyway, True Detective. I haven't
Oh, it
seen
didn't come
this
out then.
because I don't have HBO in my dorm, but when I get the chance, I'll definitely get to watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't own any of these Blu-rays because they don't give them to me for review purposes yet.
Let's hope.
Yeah, that would definitely help. But yeah, this I'm only going by Blu-ray.com, but the site apparently says it's got some audio commentaries for only 2 episodes, making True Detective, which is 15 minutes long, up and close with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, the 2 stars of the series or the season, which is about 8 minutes. A conversation between Nick Pizzolatto and T-Bone Burnett. That's about 14 minutes. Inside the episodes, which is 36 minutes. I think it may be a whole thing, or it might be episodes each. I don't know, and then lastly, got 10 minutes of deleted scenes. So, I mean, critically acclaimed series apparently. So,
Mm-hmm.
I've
heard nothing but praise about it.
Same here. So if True Detective's your thing, you should definitely get this Blu-ray. Apparently. Next up, we've got the one of 2 movies that I've seen in this list of Blu-rays I'm going to talk about is Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit.
Is it good?
It's fine. It's got some moments that I don't really care for. Kenneth Branagh directed this, who directed Thor, and he also stars in it as the main villain. And directing-wise, he does a fine job, but as a villain, I thought he was just really boring, and I don't know, just he didn't work as a villain. But it's got, I mean, the new Captain Kirk, Chris Pine, in the role of Jack Ryan. It's got Keira Knightley and Kevin Costner. Well, it's a fine action movie. It's nothing to rave about, but it's not god-awful. I mean, it's one of those movies, you flip the channels on TV, it comes up. You might watch it for a bit, you'll be amused. But if you love Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit enough to want to buy it on Blu-ray, then the special feature...
It's available.
It's available Tuesday, but in terms of special features, aside from a DVD and... excuse me. A few digital copies. It has an audio commentary with director Kenneth Branagh and producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura. He is a Paramount guy, apparently. Jack Ryan, the smartest guy in the room, which is a small look into the film. It's about 13 minutes long. Sir Kenneth Branagh, the Tsar of Shadow Recruit, which is a 10-minute piece, I'm sorry, dedicated to Branagh's direction and his performance as the villain, which really, that deserves 10 minutes. But Jack Ryan, Thinking Man of Action, which is about 5 minutes long, goes into the film's key action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Old Enemies Return, which is about 21 minutes long, goes into the Russian villains and examining U.S.-Russian history, and then about 5 minutes of deleted and extended scenes. Which I gotta say, this is a slight bump up from some past Blu-rays that Paramount have put out, because I've noticed that with Wolf of Wall Street and Star Trek Into Darkness, they really dropped the ball with bonus features.
I haven't. Oh yeah, for Wolf of Wall Street there was like nothing.
Well, for Wolf of Wall Street, it had a 22-minute documentary on the film, which in itself is a good documentary, but it's something that's more made for TV and not something you'd find on a Blu-ray.
Yeah. What I think happened personally was I got the extended edition Lord of the Rings Blu-rays, and those spoiled me in terms of special features.
Well, I mean, not just that, but for big, well-known movies, you have to expect more. I mean, you can't skimp.
Frozen was the worst about it.
Who?
Frozen?
Did they have? What did they have?
They had a thing that was called The Making of Frozen, and all it is a music video of the people who made the movie running around Disney while singing a song called Making of Frozen, and that's all it is. It's the only bonus feature.
Jesus Christ. Come on, Disney, you're better than that.
Yeah,
I mean,
and when I realized that, I was like, it's literally false advertising, because on the back it says The Making of Frozen under bonus features. So it's like, oh, sweet, I can see how they made it. But I was interested on how, because they changed Elsa's character and all the rewrites and things. And it's just them covering up and probably releasing it like later this year for like $40.
We'll see. I mean, shit, the movie made over $1 billion. You'd think Disney would be smart enough to not skimp out, but
no, because they're gonna wait a couple years and they'll come back from the Disney vault and they'll make even more money.
I don't think Disney even holds any movie after The Lion King to that Disney vault status. But
the Beauty and the Beast, I think.
Beauty and the Beast was before Lion King.
Oh, well.
So anyway, we'll move on from that to. I think we mentioned this movie at some point during the show. Liam Neeson in Non-Stop.
Yeah, we did. Star Wars 7 actress is in. Lupita Nyong'o is in Non-Stop.
Is she?
Yeah, she's like a waiter.
A flight attendant?
An airplane attendant.
Okay. Yeah, really briefly, I'm looking through the screenshots that Blu-ray.com. Oh, there she is. Okay, fair enough. But did you see Non-Stop?
No, but I heard that it does a good job of having you guess who the killer is. So I guess it succeeds on that level.
Huh? Yeah,
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it myself either, but I've heard. I mean, what I've heard is just another Liam Neeson action movie, which again, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I mean, apparently there's only we talked about skipping out on Blu-ray extras. There are only 2 featurettes on this release: Non-Stop Action, which is about 5 minutes, and Suspense at 40,000 Feet, which is about 8 minutes. So.
So stupid.
It says here, it's according to Blu-ray.com, it says both of which offer little more than surface skimming overviews on the film and production, with plenty of talkhead interview segments to go around. So that gives you a total of 13 minutes, which.
I mean, it beats Frozen.
Yeah, I guess, but again, I haven't seen any of the bonus features, but moving on to a company that does not skimp out on their Blu-ray releases, the Criterion Collection. Uh, oh shit, the page disappeared.
What was
Okay,
it
hang on.
called?
I haven't said the movie's name yet because
Oh. Oh,
the
wait, did I
the
find
page I had up just disappeared. Um, fuck. Okay.
I can cover Cosmos real quick.
You do that because
Okay.
this movie from the Criterion Collection is one that I've actually seen. So when I pull
Okay.
that up, we'll get to it.
Cosmos is coming out from 20th Century Fox on Blu-ray. Wasn't this the Seth MacFarlane thing he did?
What? I don't
I
think
was pretty
so.
sure Seth MacFarlane was involved in Cosmos.
A Space-Time Odyssey?
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane Cosmos. Yeah, he was. He's one of the producers on it, I think.
That it begs the question: what the fuck is Cosmos? Huh?
Oh, it's a like documentary animation type of series where they talk about the cosmos and they
Hang on,
educate
hang
the
on.
audience on it.
You got some static coming from your mic. I don't know what happened, but there's a crackling. Okay, check it.
Hello?
Okay, that's a little better.
Okay.
Um,
It's like they teach the audience about the cosmos and they use animation sometimes. Sometimes it's live action stuff, and
and
it's
you're
just
telling
it,
and you're
and Seth
telling
MacFarlane, it was a big reason that it got made.
that's hard to
He,
believe.
he's the executive producer on it.
Seth MacFarlane, Family Guy,
Yeah.
American Dad, Ted Seth MacFarlane.
Yes.
That is. Hang on, before we get to this Criterion release, I gotta look this up because that's hard to believe, huh?
Yeah, I was like, Seth MacFarlane's doing something that might be good.
Well,
Say what?
oh, don't say that. He's done some good stuff. Huh?
I don't know. At least from what I've seen, I haven't liked it.
I don't know. I like American Dad. Huh? I mean, if I had to pick between Family Guy and American Dad, American Dad I find to be the funnier show.
Hmm.
I mean, especially there's this one clip where Stan, the main character, for some reason, has like he comes in with a giant clock and a rocket boot, and like his wife's making dinner, and it only lasts for a second, but his wife is like, Stan, I'm not cooking you dinner. I don't know what the episode was, but he basically says, I don't need you to make me or breakfast. He's like, I don't need you to make me breakfast. All I need is my clock and my rocket boot. Oh, what time is it? Time to kick it! Huh? And then he like does some weird dance, and it doesn't last very long, but for some reason it's just fucking hysterical. Okay, holy shit, he is. Huh?
Yeah, and it's just about like the space
Go
and
figure.
the science
You,
behind it.
you say that like saying they're animation segments. I'm curious to see this just to see if Peter Griffin will pop up. Or
I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, the tone isn't like that.
well, that shit would be hilarious. Like just to punk everyone. Like Peter
They might
Griffin just
do
pops
it,
up.
but the show broadcasts on Fox, and then the day after broadcasts on
Ah,
National Geographic.
that makes a lot of sense that it would broadcast on Fox. But yeah. Moving on to some. Okay. Enough about Cosmos. Anyway, this release from the Criterion Collection is L'Eclisse from filmmaker Michelangelo Antonio, or the English title for this movie is Eclipse. Basically, it's a movie about a woman who leaves her lover and goes into a relationship with another. It's an Italian film from 1962 that I actually saw in one of my film classes. It's
Was it good?
it's slow. It's one of these movies that it's part of a. It's this last film in this trilogy that he's made, and in the sense that it's a spiritual trilogy. All the other films he's made beforehand have the same tone. but they don't connect to each other through characters or sequels, similar to Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy.
Okay.
But it's a slow movie. It's a really good one. The Criterion Collection is one of those companies that, or it is the company that really takes care into a lot of films and offers a lot of film students just these films they might not have heard of, and just gives them the chance to discover them. They're really, and so far they're the only choice that they've made that I was like, why, is with Armageddon. But I've heard that they were actually forced to put that out and didn't want to.
Was that the Roland Emmerich film?
No, that was the Michael Bay asteroid movie.
Oh, okay.
With Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck.
Okay.
So, but anyway, while this release of L'Eclisse does not have a stellar amount of bonus features, it does have a 56-minute documentary on the film.
That's pretty good.
It has a video program from Italian critic and film scholar Adriano Apra and a friend of the director, Carlo De Carlo, called Elements of Landscape, which discuss the visual style of the film. It's got a commentary with former program director of the Film Society of Lincoln Center in New York City and professor at Columbia University, Richard Penna. Apparently, this commentary was on the DVD release back in 2004.
Okay.
And then it comes with a booklet, as all Criterion releases do. It comes with a booklet featuring an essay by some film critic or scholar. In this case, it's Jonathan Rosenbun and Gilberto Perez. So, I mean, Eclipse it's a good movie. You kind of have to give into it, but it's a rewarding film, I think. And then the last one I want to talk about is another release from the Criterion Collection, called one that I haven't seen myself, but should probably be worth mentioning for those who love Criterion. All That Heaven Allows. Never seen this movie. Haven't really heard of it until now, but it features. It's made in 1955, and that's pretty much all I know. So, this one comes with a stellar amount of bonus features, more than the past one, more than L'Eclisse does. It comes with a commentary trailer, a few documentaries, and a 20-page booklet, as all Criterion Collections come with. So that does it for Blu-ray releases, and I think that does it for our show. This is the first time doing it without Steven, so
yeah.
I think it turned out
I just
well.
want to mention that you didn't mention the Seattle Seahawks Road to Super Bowl 48 Blu-ray.
Oh, I didn't?
It comes out in 2 days.
Well,
As president of the Pacific Northwest, this is very important to me.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you know me, I'm not much of a sports fan.
Yeah, you're not a
but
sports guy.
if you want, you can talk about this.
I don't even know what even's on it. It just shows it's their road to the Super Bowl, and it's $40. I probably won't buy it, but.
Okay.
But if I see it on sale in like 5 years for like 15, I'll probably buy it and then sit there and relive my lone championship that any of my teams have won since I've been alive.
Well, there you go. And now I think we are done with the show. Do you have anything else to add?
Last night I went on a High School Musical marathon and watched all 3 movies, and it was good.
Wow. You gotta let it go, man. No, just kidding. I mean, I'm too old for that shit anyway. But
I was growing up at just the exact moment. The first movie came out when I was like 9, so I was just the right age to have that sense of nostalgia when I go back and watch them.
Yeah, I guess that movie for me would be Superbad, because that came out during my freshman year of high school.
The first one doesn't hold up very well. I think the second and third ones are actually like good, but the first
I
one
thought you were
does not
talking
hold
about.
up well.
I thought you were talking about Superbad. I'm like, wait a minute, there was no Superbad 2 and 3. What are you talking about?
No, it's not a High School Musical.
Yeah, I didn't figure that out until you said the second and third one.
Oh,
Like, wait a minute, first one. There's only one Superbad. But okay, that's about it for our. That's about it for our show tonight. We have stuff to do, but why don't you tell the people where you can find them? Dylan?
You can find me on youtube.com/theapplecowprodigy. Will I upload this week? Maybe Friday when school's out. I'll do more videos this summer, most likely. I don't tweet. Yeah, that's about it. I might start working on the Iron Man 3 review again when school's out.
It ain't gonna happen.
It will happen in some capacity. There will be an update this year.
Okay.
I'll go as far as that.
Okay, and since Steve is not here, I'll just plug his stuff. You can find him at geekedoutnation.com, as well as the site's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter pages. And as always, you can find me on the Cinemas with Mr. Robinson because, well, that's where this video is being broadcasted from. I have links to my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr accounts up there. As well as my other YouTube channel, AlexG8462. You can find me on letterboxd.com, letterboxd.com, under the name The Real Mr. Robinson. And obviously, we both write for Geeked Out Nation. If you
my How to Train Your Dragon 2 review will be finalized tomorrow. So it should be up then.
All right. And if you were watching this live, thanks for watching. And even if you were watching this recorded, or even listening to this recorded, we again thank you for putting up with us. So
yes, putting up with our repetitive Transformers 4 debate.
Yeah, I don't think it
happens every episode.
I don't think it popped up that much this time around, but
it popped up for I think like a minute, which is like our low.
That's a new record.
It is.
Take pride in that shit. But yeah, without further ado, we will get out of here. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.